particular season, they got to a time they were on top of the league log under Coach Frimpong Manson. They were doing well after getting the win against RTO, after getting the win against House of Folk. All these 2 games, they got the maximum wins at the Sunyani Coronation Park. So once issues happen within the club, they need to move their venue to different place. That is where Bofakatana started struggling. And after the dismiss of Frimpong Manson, they were struggling a little. So when you monitor their games, even though Coach Eduafo, former assistant coach for Kumasi Asante Kotoko, and the first stint of Prosper Neteogum, former head coach of Kotoku Royals, he is still struggling. Kotoko went there in their last game of the first one, got the maximum 3 points. Bukwala scoring that 2 goals with a fantastic assist from Richmond Lamte in that particular game. So it tells you, league is still open. Be able to miss the league no more. The way our teams points up, trying to make sure they will do everything possible to be in a respectable position. It tells you this particular season, most of these teams will improve. Yeah, what first round the way, Samatas is leading. Teams are building up Asante Kotoko. They are also building themselves up. And when you look at the kind of performance this team put it up, at the momentum of Agada in their recent games, some of them will be hurt for the 1 month period of break that you are going out for the AFCON. So it tells you most of these teams will be coming in the second round with more vigor, with more strength to make sure they will be in that respectable position that will help them survive at least in this particular season in Ghana Premier League.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. So I mean, for some teams, they wish there was no break because almost building momentum. And some teams when they win, they improve and they go on a long stretch. So one of them is Asante Kotoko, no doubt about it. Maybe another is Nations. They also bounce back very well in the top 4 as a team that just came back from relegation. Sorry, from the lower division. They're doing very well. Nations, are they not? Yeah,
when you look at their recent performance and the way and manner they've been able to amass a lot of points in their home games. Nations FC, they are yet to lose a game at home. I think they had 1 or 2 draws game in the Ghana Premier League at home. The draw game against Asante Kotoko is one of them. The draw game against Legon City is one of them. Of course, the last one against House of Folk Football Club and then the Dr. Kwame Sports Complex. The rest of their games, they will manage to get the maximum 3 points at home. So, one of the teams to beat after what we saw in the first round is the Nations FC Football Club. Bringing in quality players. They are captain and defender. One of the best players so far in the Premier League. When we are talking about 4 central defenders who were stand out in the first round of the Ghana Premier League, the captain of the Nations FC was one of them, Razak Simpson, a key player in their side. And of course, those players playing up front try to score goals for them. They've been instrumental for them this particular season. So, Osha Bofu team Osha Asante Kotoko, Osha Nations FC, Osha Samates, and Swatremai especially. Emmanuel Quaye, Uman Manaf, and the presence of Master Kunodu, Amma, the Swatraman team is one of the teams that they're difficult to beat, and I think one of the best teams we've seen so far in the first round of the Ghana Premier League.
Yeah, we're seeing highlights of that game between Tano Bofakwa and Asante Kotoko, played in Sunyani. Good attendance, over the holiday, and this guy, one of the informed players, he reminds me a bit of Luis Diaz of Liverpool. He has 10 chances and he'll probably score 2 or 3, but he doesn't lack confidence, does he? And he's always sniffing around the goal area, looking for a chance directly or maybe from a mistake. And Kotoko winning again, this time on the road, which they've done a couple of times this season.
Especially when na Oshe situation na for final almost after some break playing games at home at the Sunyani Coronation Park. That was their first game after that band, and the last game in the first one. So, Bofu were determined to get the maximum point at home, but Kotoko team was too good for them to contain last week Saturday. So that is why Sibu Mukwala on the day was one of the best players, scoring that too important. But even though
Another
he
chance.
missed a lot of chances in that particular game,
But you know what? You're beginning to notice is this young chap is picking up upon.
And that is one of the stadiums he has played a lot of games there. Sunyani Nema. That is what they used to call him in Sunyani. So, a good player in the Kotoko team. Once he's injury free, a good sign for Asante Kotoko Football Club. Baba Yaya, one of the improved players in the first one for Asante Kotoko. And of course, there are two midfield partnerships for Asante Kotoko. Sharif Mohammed and of course, Inform Richmond Lamptey has really worked a lot for Asante Kotoko Football Club. And the back three looks like it's working for them. Nuruddin Mohammed, Justice Blay, sometimes Mo Sharif comes in, and of course, Henry Ansu, one of the key players for Asante Kotoko Football Club. So it looks like now Prosper Nelteogum getting to the end of the season. They are last 5, 6, 7 games in the Ghana Premier League. No, now I feel like Kotoko team they upper. They wish they can continue with that, but AFCON is around the corner. Try to make a lot of changes in the team and make sure they will get maximum wins in their games and more ball. And when you look at this Kotoko team, from the start to the first one of the season, a lot of changes. Their first game, second game, third game, it was Danlad Ibrahim, former Quaye. In the course of the season, the coach will have to rely on Freddie Kasari. The FA Cup against Nations FC, the coach will have to rely on Moise Poati. When you look at their pack four, there was Nana Beyin, John Tedeku, Augustine Japan. Later on, it was only Nuruddin Mohammed and Henry Ansu who has been consistent in their back four. Justice Blay will have to come back into the team at a certain stage after the famous press conference the coach did. Enoch Morrison was back into the team to play that left wing back position for Asante Kotoko Football Club. And the coach
Oshe movements. We are again. Look at that. This time over the bar.
Yeah. That is Sibu Mukwala. A direct center forward with quality movement. Typical center forward who can score from the head, the any part of the leg. It's an improved player for Asante Kotoko this season in the Ghana Premier League, especially the later part of the season. So I'm happy about the performance of Asante Kotoko and how these players are listening to instruction from Prosper Nelteogum and of course Destiny Okulu, and it's working for them in the Premier League first round.
Okay. Of course, Nanedu's here. So too is our summarizer, Josiah Okoe. Quaye. Let's go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll turn up the metal.
GPL headquarters. headquarters.
Recovered nicely by Quaye as they look for men in open spaces. And the driving force is on now. The shot across the face of goal. Oh! Daniel Ampofo went down, but just could not control the power. He's very good with the dead ball situation. He swings one in. The header is on there. Oh! Seemed to be something wrong with the Lions of Accra. Swung in nicely. And some text to draw back. And Ponce with the cross. Oh! Dead on target. And they pull one back through the man who came on, swung to the side. That was placed in by Ampofo. Once again, they come forward, trying to get the better. Their opponents as they inch towards the goal area to the 18-yard box. The cross was on, and that is goal number 3. Cheat. But obviously started all with the effort given by Francis Jetua. He trapped the ball nicely. Quick turn.
It's 20 minutes at the Coronation Park in Sunyani. Bofwakwa nil, Kotoko nil. Here is Sharif. Good ball to Mukwala. Here comes Mukwala, but comes out. Mukwala with a chance. Mukwala is a first goal for Santi Kotoko. Making a mess from this situation. He kicked the ball against Kelvin Opon. It fell to Mukwala. The TI Madia student finds Isaac Opon. He looks for Lamte. Lovely play from Lamte. And Mukwala makes it 2-0 for Santi Kotoko. Steve Desi Mukwala, a man on fire. The Ugandan doubles the lead of Kotoko and makes it 2. Got a pass from Isaac Opon to pick out Lamte. Lovely skill to go past Opon. Sets up Mukwala. Salim free Brian. Can he make amends? Here's the chance for and the Fabians have scored! Martin Kakari scores for the Fabians in stoppage time after missing the penalty. Cisse. It was a good ball from Cisse to get to Salim for Ibrahim.
Yeah, we're seeing highlights of Hartsvog's win over Bichib United at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. A good win. The Phobians pushed hard, and in the and got the win deservedly. Appeals for offside, but they were waved away. I think it was a clean go in the end, even though the replay would suggest a little bit of that. But hey, the referees don't have the what's the word to use? Reflex of a replay. Anyway, so Isaac Minta still leading, but he's been caught up by Augustine Ankrah. Augustine Ankrah is out of coverage area soon. He's going back to Tanzania, if you guys have heard, which is very interesting. Stephen Mukwala has moved up. In fact, if you really want to be objective, Mukwala should be on at least 16 goals, double of that 8. Chances are game after game, if he's able to convert even 60%, he'll be running away. But unfortunately, his conversion rates are problematic. And, well, he scores 1 or 2 in every game. That tells you how prolific he is. Prince Osu Kwabena is also there. And Aman Konak having a good season back home to his base. Brighter J, the veteran, and Hamza Issa all there with Yodo. Hamza, perhaps the surprise, a young chap at the Phobians showing real potential there.
Yeah, I think you look at the list over there and you don't see 2 players from one team. That should tell you that every team at least have got a man who is, getting them the goals. You have Diana who have 2 men who have produced at least, I think, 15 goals. That's Isaac Minta and also Bright J. But then Augustine Okra, he started on a very slow pace. I think with the exception of Isaac Mensah, who got his first 9 goals in the first 10 games. The rest actually started on a slow pace, especially Stephen Mukwala. He also didn't start on the bright note because we saw Master Sante Kotoko going through some transitions. They had their early season problems, but then they managed to put all those behind them, and he's flourishing now. In the FA Cup, he scored a couple also, got himself some assists as well. So you look at the list over there, I think it's a list of quality strikers who are banging in goals for their teams. They're winning points. Hamza Issa, yes, he is the surprise inclusion over there because even before the season started, I don't think he even, saw himself playing first team football for Accra Hearts of Oak. But he came in, and he grabbed the chance. He's gotten the team some important goals. He scored when they drew away at He scored when they drew away at Abrankese when they played against Nations FC. He's gotten them some very, very important goals away at the Dance Park when they drew 1-1 with Gold Stars. He was also on the score sheet. So his goals actually end up getting Hearts of Oak point. And that's the kind of goals you want your attackers to score. Not when you are down by 3 and you end up scoring 2. No. And these are strikers who are scoring on the weekly basis. And Augustine Okra is surprisingly, he's been able to catch up with Isaac Mensah, who hasn't played in the last 3 games due to injury. And that should tell you that these players, especially Augustine Okra, he knows his way, at the top. He knows how to get the goals. Last 2 seasons, when he was in the league, he got himself 14 goals before he moved out of the country. Now he's back and he's fighting again for the Golden Boot award, and that's the caliber of player Bechem United have got. And fortunately for him, he's playing for a team that ends up scoring a lot of goals. So every time he plays, he's assured to score a goal. The last time they played against Gold Stars at home, he missed a glaring chance. And you'd be thinking, this is a chance you should put away. But there are players like that, the caliber of player he is. They love to score the most difficult goals. They miss the sitters and score the most difficult. So I'm not surprised seeing all these players. I think Isaac Mensah should be looking at, getting back to fitness again and helping his team and also, adding up to his numbers, because these are the numbers you put up that earns you the individual, or gives you the individual accolades and the recognition. So he should be looking at getting back, because when he scored 9, I don't think any player was on 6 goals. Now they've caught up with him. Stephen Mukwala is on 8. The other players on 7. Stephen Amankuna, he's enjoying life back at Brecum Chelsea. He's also on 6. So I'll say kudos to all these players. But then, I think this season with the 17 more games to play, I think some other players have got more to play due to the outstanding fixtures. I think it will be very, very interesting looking at the gold team race. Yeah,
second round would be very interesting. And of course, we're taking a look down the screen. Josiah's first round 11 selection of the best players, position for position. And let's go through very briefly. And of course, you'd give us a vindication of why you made this selection very quickly. Why the players in those positions?
Yeah, I think I'll start off with the goalkeeper, who is Kofi Ba of Samatex. He's kept the most clean sheets, considered the least number of goals in the league this season, and he's been consistent. And due to his performances, his team can boast of being at the top after the first round of games. So I think that's the reason why I went with him. Emmanuel Kote, he always, whenever I watch him, I see shades of Tariq Lamptey over there. The way he plays with blistering pace. He would be a two-way player if he plays basketball. You say he's good attacking-wise and also defensively. And also Kelvin Asibe, who has been Hearts of Oak's arguably their signing of the season so far. He's been great, and we've heard, even football fans ask for his inclusion, in the Black Stars. Unfortunately, he didn't find his name, or he didn't make the cut, so that's the reason why he's there. Setre, Ebenezer who plays for Great Olympics. He's also been great, in defense. His team has conceded the least number of goals, joint with Samatex.
I think Setra is the one that some will be surprised by. But
No, he's been great. He's been great. And I had even wanted to go with the goalkeeper as well, but then the Great Olympics goalkeeper. But then I had to go with Ba, and that's the reason why Setra is there. And you talk about Nuruddin Mohammed, who's been superb for Kumasi Asante Kotoko, and he's playing at left back because in the system they are playing, he is a bit of a left centre back in that system. You look at Kotoko and their three-back system where you have Henry Antu playing as a centre back, and you have Justice Blade and also Nuruddin, and that's the reason why he's playing at left back. And then the midfield three of Richmond Lamte, Mo Sharif, and also Emmanuel Entry. And someone will be asking why Emmanuel Entry. Yeah, I think if you've watched Great Olympics play this season, you understand why Emmanuel Entry, is in my 11 of the first round. He scored some brilliant free kicks this season. And I look at the league and I struggle to find any dead ball specialist, but this guy is a dead ball specialist. And whenever he has a free kick, around the 18-yard box, then you should expect something wonderful from him. He's already scored 5 goals. He's Great Olympics top scorer this season. And Ano Walker, the coach of Great Olympics, speaks fondly about this guy. So he is one of the players that we need to watch out for. Mo Sharif will be in the holding role, and also Richmond Lamte, arguably, the best midfielder this season in the league. He has his name in the Blaster squad for the upcoming AFCON. And I'll go for, the top 3 scorers of the league with Isaac Mensah and also Augustine Okra, playing either side with Stephen Mukwala playing through the middle. So, yeah, I think this has to be my best 11 after the first round.
Yeah, so for Kotoko players, making 4 of that side. It's quite interesting. Great Olympics also getting a couple in there. Yeah, any comments before we see yours as well?
Yeah, it's a strong lineup, when you look at, Josiah's first 11 for the first round. Kofi Ba, as he was saying, together with, Benjamin Asare, had the same number of, goals they considered in the Ghana Premier League. But, Kofi Ba is not a bad goalkeeper, quality goalkeeper in the local scene. Emmanuel Coach, one of the best right back you can see so far in the Ghana. In fact, the best you can see in the Ghana Premier League so far. Kevin Osesibe, Ebenezer Setre, Nuruddin Mohammed, quality players and quality centre halves. Yeah, when you look at this particular season in Ghana Premier League, one area that we should improve as country in the local scene is the central defense area. When you look at Nuruddin of Asante Kotoko, Setre of Olympics, Esibe of House of Folk, even in House of Folk, Kofi Agbesima has not been bad. Galileo of Dreams FC, and of course, this Mediema centre half was scored into the Blasters. Nuruddin, quality player in the local scene, who's also doing well in their side. So this particular season, Ghana Premier League side has improved in their central defensive area. That is helping most of these teams conceding lesser goals in the Ghana Premier League. So Emmanuel Entry is just like Dreams FC, that winger in the Dreams FC team. Quality players in the league so far. So one of the teams that we've seen quality players play in this particular season is the Olympics team. Mohamed Sharif, arguably one of the best defensive midfielders so far in the Ghana Premier League. And of course, Richmond Lamte, I'm sure he will be a player. He will be in anybody's first 11 for the first one. And of course, when you look at the upfront, Isaac Mensah, top scorer, obviously you cannot leave him out. Augustine Okra, a quality player in the league, even though he left for younger FC in Tanzania, also in the team. So it tells you the squad is not a bad squad. When you look at the Ghana Premier League we've seen so far in the first round, I think it's a strong lineup for this particular first round.
Yeah, no doubt about it at all. I mean, obviously, your take at home as well. It'll be interesting to see what you have to say. Sports Tiger says he thinks Emmanuel Keyeke should replace Sharif Mohammed in the middle. Sports Tiger, and also confirmation that yes,
he's in my first 11. It will come.
Yeah, Hafiz Konkoni, they're in the same team with Okra. started training with Yanga already.
Yeah.
So he's likely to face Midiama. No, they played home and away. So he's, you know, Yanga have a chance though if they're able to take over the North Africans, but it will be very difficult.
Yeah, Yanga is a strong team when it comes to the interclub competition. Last season, they were in the finals of the Confederations Cup. This particular season, they were even a player in their team, you know, Ivory Coast wanted to take to the AFCON, but he was out in the final 27-man squad. Zua, quality player in the Yanga team. And I think to add Augustine Ankrah from our local league into this Yanga team, I think it will improve their team.
Ankrah being poked by Yanga at this time, how is that going to affect Bichim? Number one. And at this time as well, would he have made, you know, your starting team automatically? Would he have walked into the GPL 11 for you?
Augustine Ankrah.
Yes.
You know, he was fighting the position with, you know, Emmanuel Entry of Olympics. But I chose Emmanuel Entry in that particular position. I went for a typical 4-4-3 with variation turning into 4-4-2 diamond. So I went for, you know, Benjamin Asario for Great Olympics as my goalkeeper. That is my first 11 for you. You know, Benjamin Asario as the goalkeeper for Great Olympics. And the right back, I went for Emmanuel Quaye in Swartlemine. And I went for...
So Ankrah was not in yours as well?
He was fighting that particular position with Emmanuel Entry.
Josiah, you too?
Yeah, I had him.
They had both Emmanuel Entry and Augustine Ankrah in the same first 11. But I chose...
And they say Yanga Umwedidi, a fantastic player.
Oh, they've gotten one of the best players so far in the first round of the Ghana Premier League. So Quaye at the right back, I think he's the best right back so far in the Ghana Premier League. I chose, you know, Michael Ampedu as, and he's another right back in the Ghana Premier League, but he played all the games for House of Folk. The only player in the House of Folk team who played all the games this particular season in the Ghana Premier League. So Michael Ampedu at the left back position, and I went for Nuruddin Mohammed and of course Kelvin Osiesibe at the heart of the central defense. Yimano Kayeke, Richmond Lamte, and Manaf Umar as my three midfielders. Isaac Minta, the top scorer, Stephen Mukwala, and of course Emmanuel Entry as the front three. So that is my first 11 for the first one. I think look at the team is balanced. Players who can score from all angles, midfielders who can create a lot of opportunities for the attackers to score. So, Kayeke, Richmond Lamte, Manaf Uman, I think they are the best midfield three we can get so far in the first round of the Ghana Premier League. And of course, Isaac Minta, the top scorer, you cannot leave him out. After first 10 games, he had already scored 9 goals in the Ghana Premier League. And Stephen Mukwala, when you look at the last 7-8 games of the Ghana Premier League, I would say he's the most improved player in the Kotoko team. And of course, Emmanuel Entry, quality player in that particular position. That particular position, I had about 3 or 4 players fighting for that particular position, but I chose Emmanuel Entry because of his free kick expert in the Ghana Premier League and the quality of display, cutting in from the right side of the midfield with the left foot, and he's a quality player in the Great Olympics. So, Benjamin Asare, Emmanuel Quaye, Michael Ampedu, Kelvin Osiesibe, Nuruddin Mohammed, Emmanuel Kayeke, Manaf Uman, Richmond Lamte, Isaac Minta, Sibi Mukwala, and of course, Emmanuel Entry completes my first 11 for the first round of the Ghana Premier League.
Awesome. Yep, I think that's fine. The reason why I was bringing Augustine Ankrah in there, and obviously linking it to Yanga, is the link. Hafiz Konkone is also there. These are players that the Ghana Premier League have lost to Yanga in Tanzania.
And he'll be the second Ghanaian player to play for both Simba and Yanga after Bernard Morrison did for the Tanzanian club, playing for Yanga and of course Simba. Augustine Ankrah will be the second Ghanaian player to achieve that feat when it comes to the Tanzanian league. So you need to expect all these kind of things when it goes to Tanzania. They have strong teams in their league. Anzam, Yanga, and of course, Simba FC. So to play 2 out of these possible 3 teams, it tells you Augustine Okoe has made his name when it comes to African football.
No doubt about that. Okay, as I said, we're counting down to the African Cup of Nations, of course. As always, Max TV will bring you the behind the scenes. Name it, from Itzibano Ubedi, and the language, the fashion, the culture, the names, where the Ghanaians have been hiding out, the fufu, which is futu, and all the things that Ghana and Ivory Coast have in common. And of course, the Ghana village there, as well as the infrastructure, they've pumped in at least $1 billion US. That sounds unbelievable. I can't wait to go and see if the 1 billion will be on your face. But very shortly, we'll go to Ivory Coast to see what we have there with our correspondent who's been here, there, and everywhere looking at what's happening with 9 days to go to the kickoff. We also have fantastic goodies for you as far as the diaries concerned, and the updates and the countdown and all that besides as well. Okay, you're watching the GPL headquarters. It's a special edition. Josiah, Okoe, and Nana Edu are here. Before we switch to the AFCON, the break at this time with outstanding matches still to play, how does that work out? Interest? Maybe 50-50 and
Yeah,
because we'll be playing outstanding matches during the AFCON.
Yeah, but I think that the team that's going to, be at a disadvantage is Mediama, who have 2 of their players playing or being caught up to the Black Stars. You have Jonathan Tua, their top, scorer, and also Hamidou Fatah, who would play or who plays at the left back position. And you look at their team, and these are 2 players that have been very, pivotal for them this season, not just in the domestic league, but then also, in Africa. So I think that's where they are going to, suffer a bit. But then aside that, yeah, I think it's the best thing to do. Because the AFCON is just for a month. And after AFCON, normal, the league would resume again. So we have to play all these games, and even Mediama will understand it, that they couldn't play these games because they had to play in Africa. Now they're back home and they have to handle the games.
Yeah, I mean, I've not heard any untoward comments or what's the word to use? Very few have reservations about these 3 players being selected. Some were worried about Jonathan Soa's discipline issues, but so far with the Black Stars, we've not seen that, so perhaps you can forgive him. Richmond Lamptey, we've talked enough about him. Abdul Fattah as well, had his chance, did pretty well. Any doubts about these 3? Perhaps should it have been 4 or 5 guys?
That is what I was trying to talk about.
Who else should have been in there?
Emmanuel Quaye should have been in the squad. Once the coach took 3 right backs to this tournament, Adidi Seidu, Kingsley Sengela, and of course, Dennis Professor Odoi. I think Kingsley Sengela should have been out for Emmanuel Quaye of Nswatremai to be in the final 27-man squad, but he was not even part of the earlier 11 players from the local scene who were part of the 55-man squad. So, I'll put that aside. But I think, the right back position, I think they should have taken Emmanuel Quaye as one of the players to this particular AFCON. When you look at the other position, John Entry is one of the best players you can see in the local scene. His experience, I think, is a better goal scorer than all the strikers we are taking to the AFCON. He has paid his due when it comes to African football. The highest scoring non-Egyptian player in the Egyptian league. John Entry plays for Dreams FC nowadays. He's competing when it comes to the interclub competition. His experience is one of the reasons why Dreams FC are doing well in the Confederations Cup. So I'll add John Entry and, of course, Emmanuel Quaye to the squad. Apart from that, I think I agree with the 3 players. Fatah Hamidou this particular season has not been consistent enough for Mediama Football Club. There are other players who have been consistent in this particular season. When you look at it, the House of Folk team, even though they are struggling this particular season, Dennis Corsa has not been bad this particular season. Apart from those 2 games that Libertus Atta play ahead of him, he has been consistent for the left back position for House of Folk Football Club. But I think Fatah Hamidou also possesses some qualities in the local league, or they can't. Blaster team going to the AFCON, it will help us go far, and it will be a better back off for Gideon Mensah. Obviously, who will be the first choice left back in the Blaster team going to the AFCON. So I think 3 players from the local scene. Last AFCON, we took Maswala Bekwe, the Olympic striker, to the AFCON. We took Richard Atta, the goalkeeper, to the AFCON, and of course we took David Abagna. We took 3 players to the AFCON. The previous one in 2019, Felix Annan was part of the squad who made the squad. In fact, even last 2 years, this right back, formerly of Dreams FC, he has just made a move to Rio. Philemon Bafo was part of the squad. So it tells you, in recent times, at least 3-4 players from the local scene has been consistent when regards to the Blasters call-up, and of course making up to a major tournament for our national team. So it looks like it's okay for Ghanaians. At least 3 players after first round making the Blasters squad for the AFCON is a good sign for our league.
Yeah, no doubt about that at all. And we're all very expectant as the kickoff is just around the corner. Ghana, Cape Verde, and Mozambique and Egypt sorting things out there. We'll be crossing over to Ivory Coast, as I said, to talk to our man there very shortly. But let me ask, Josiah as well. The countdown is already on. We're just 9 days away. Campaign is continuing. Namibia, what are they up to? Looks like they're making headlines, but on a very quiet note.
Yeah, I think I watched the head coach, speak this morning, and he spoke about the fact that they chose Ghana, as their preferred destination for camping because of some weather conditions and also, the similarities, of the weather. So I think that was one of the reasons why they chose it. And you could see the camp, of the Namibians, and it looks like, yeah, they are poised for this one. And if you cast your mind back to the last AFCON edition, you look at the kind of surprises we had in AFCON, Comoros, Gambia, a couple of those teams just coming to the fore and, sending shockwaves across the African continent. And you look at this Namibian team, and yeah, I don't think they don't stand a chance of doing that if they are allowed to, because football has really evolved over the years. And you look at how these nations are investing. There's nothing like a football nation if you don't invest anymore. And I think that's what these teams are doing. They've taken the business so serious that, they are starting everything from the grassroots level, and it's paying dividends for them. For a team to qualify for the continental showpiece, yeah, it tells you that they are potential winners. They can beat any team at all because they had to face, competition from other teams before booking qualification to the AFCON. So you look at the mood in the camp, and I think they're also ready for that friendly game against the Black Stars because they know that would be a huge test game for them going into the tournament itself. They'll be taking a lot of cues, from that particular game because they know Ghana is a strong side, 4-time AFCON winners, we are African giants. We play some exciting football, and they think it's just going to be a perfect game going into the friendly. So I'm looking at the team, and yeah, I think they could be one of the surprises going into the AFCON.
Okay, awesome. We'll be going to Ivory Coast very shortly as the countdown is on. As I did say, Star Times will also be showing the tournament. High definition, you can't go wrong watching the best footballers and the best nations in the highest quality picture, best audio. I mean, you just simply cannot go wrong, and Hisense is providing that. And of course, Max TV bringing you the behind the scenes before, during, and after the games. It's a festival. That's why they call it, the football jamboree, Ivory Coast. How's your French? Well, not too bad. All right. Bonsoir, mon ami. Ça va? Can you hear me? Are you there? Yannick is our correspondent in Ivory Coast, and hopefully he's on and we can have a conversation with him very, very shortly. Hi, Yannick. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Good evening. Bonsoir, Yannick. Can you hear me?
Even yeah,
There
I hear
are.
you.
Finally.
I understand.
How are you doing? Okay, you need to check your audio. I can't hear you here.
You can't hear me?
Tell us where you are. Okay, I'm sure he's checking his audio, but Yannick is our correspondent in Ivory Coast. He's in Abidjan at the moment, basically where the Black Stars are, the Black Stars will be camped and where the Ghanaian supporters are expected to be. But are you surprised they spent about $1 billion over the last 5 years to prepare for this tournament? Here you go.
This tournament, hosting 24 nations, it's not an easy thing, facilities, doing maintenance on old ones, building new ones, making sure the country will be fit to host 24 strong African nations. You need to invest a lot to make sure it meets the standard that CAF for tournaments like this. So I'm not really surprised about the money involved. Look at the various stadiums, the various hotels, training facilities, the town and the cities in Ivory Coast. So that is why
football nations are. These are the things that you're expected to do. You need to invest in that. And it's not just about the football, because during the tournament, the economy has to benefit. The people must feel it.
Yeah.
After the tournament, years, still the ordinary folks, wherever it is, they also feel that something happened, even if they are not football lovers.
Yeah. Just like you're saying, I think it's not surprising that they've invested $1 billion because they know this is huge. Hosting the whole of the African continent. Yeah. Yes, we have 24 teams qualifying, but it's not just for the 24 teams. It's for the whole of Africa, and it's like hosting the whole of Africa, only in Ivory Coast. And just like you said, it's not just during the tournament, but then after the tournament, what it's going to do to the economy of Ivory Coast. It's going to be huge for them. They understand that, and that's the business aspect of football. So investing $1 billion, into the AFCON, just 2023 AFCON, yeah. Yes, you'd say it's huge money, but then you look at the returns. What will be the possible returns? And even, years to come, how is that going to boost, the economy of Cote d'Ivoire? Yeah. I think that's where they just took it from, knowing that, the returns could be very, very huge.
Yamoussoukro, I mean, 2006 in Egypt, my first major AFCON, visiting the pyramids was one of the highlights. Yeah. So when you go to an AFCON, you want to get something apart from the football. But hopefully, Yannick, if you can hear me, start Shaw Gunan Bane Yamoussoukro. You were in Yamoussoukro. If you can hear me, tell me what's the latest where you are now.
I hear you. Do you hear me? Hello? You hear me?
I'm happy when I see beaches. You know, it's the most beautiful thing you can see. Okay, we haven't challenged with Yannick, but when we get hold of him, he'll tell us where he is and what he's up to. But as you can see there on the screen, some of the venues, San Pedro, which recently hosted the Women's Champions League as well. Ivory Coast, oh my idea, for the infrastructure side at least.
Yeah, I'm not prepared, to be honest. I'm not prepared to host the rest of Africa and to host, key personalities around the world in Ivory Coast. Things like this, it pictures the true picture of the country. So it's good to be going to Ivory Coast. I don't know when you are going, but I think when you look at the preparation and the kind of things they are doing in Ivory Coast, I can't wait to be there, if only what the various stadiums, hotels. A report that we are hearing from the Black Stars campus, they will leave Ghana next week Wednesday. So in the next 1 week, we are still here with them doing enough preparation ahead of the tournament.
Yeah, the Black Stars in Kumasi.
Yes, they will move on Wednesday, next week Wednesday.
Good move. They
are preparing at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex. I understand Monday 7 p.m. That is the time they are playing their game against Namibia. Namibia already in Ghana. They've played one friendly game against Lagos Cities. Until the 94th minute, that is where Namibia scored their goal to make the game 1-1 against Lagos Cities. So they will be facing Ghana on Monday before Ghana moves on Wednesday to Ivory Coast before we play our first game on Sunday 8 p.m. In Ivory Coast. So it tells you the preparation is ongoing. 25 players are in camp. We are waiting for the rest of the 2 players today, Kudus Mohamed and, of course, Inaki Williams. The earlier report about injury situation around those 2 players, but we're hoping they'll be fully fit and prepared well for the AFCON. So you can see from day 1, day 2 of our team doing the adequate preparation. Initially, they wanted to train at the Babaya Sports Stadium, but the players in Kodu Park, and so it looks like the stadium was not ready for their various training that they would do. So they need to move quickly to the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex window. When you look at where they are lodging, the Golden Bean Hotel, straight to Abrankese, Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex, Quaye Kakra. But
yeah, the bus wouldn't fill the rough road, and this is something that we've been saying about. Dr. Kwame Chase has done his bits, but the stretch, that road from Central Kumasi, and that's for Kumasi Sports Stadium, Babayara to Abrankese. They need to do the road so that it's a bare best of 15 minutes instead of the now 30, 45 minutes.
It boils down to preparation.
I'm talking about the infrastructure, the road.
Yeah, the infrastructure is okay. The road, they had issues. But when you look at issues around our preparation in Kumasi, you can see clearly, the mindset was all about South Africa. So we didn't have plan A, plan B, plan C as to if we go to Kumasi, what will happen before we play our games or the team prepare for tournaments like this. So preparation was a little bit slow for us, but the most important thing is honor Dr. Kwame Chase Abudi Stadium at Chesa. It will be hosted Blaster training there. Even when you a friendly game on Monday 7 p.m. no Kwayambo Abrankese Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex then Kosovo.
NSA Director General, saying that clubs should build and manage their own stadia. But it's quite interesting that elsewhere, state is investing heavily in infrastructure so that you have the ripple effects. He's not wrong, but I think he's got it, the timing and also the manner in which he communicated it. A communication problem, Kakra.
Yeah, I think so, and you rightly said it.
Sorry, you've activated the phone line so you can join in with your thoughts. Ghana Premier League first round, your best player, your worst player, your best goal incident, even your best referee. Let us have it as we continue our countdown. Yeah,
it's the timing, of what he said. You can count the number of national stadiums we have in this country, and the ones now available for use, even for the national team. It's a problem. So you can't even put the Black Stars aside and start asking teams, our club teams to start getting their own stadium. Yes, I think it's a requirement for these clubs. They know how important it is to get your own stadiums, because when you look at African club football, the best clubs own their own stadiums, their own facilities and all that. But then, this is the Black Stars we are talking about, and it's quite different. Yes, you're asking the club teams to get their own stadium. So if, or in the absence of these clubs, having their own facilities, he can't tell me that they are not at liberty to use the national facilities.
Yeah, as we see the shots there from Kumasi, the Black Stars. This man is back into the Black Stars after Aziz is standing by. Jiku there also, he's back after an injury. Hi, Aziz, good evening. Hello, Aziz, good evening. Hello, Aziz, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, can you speak up? I can hardly hear you.
Yeah, good evening.
Jose.
Yeah, maybe you left back not here. Black Stars on an April Hotel. Or try my Ghana for no.